sponsored in part by DollarSeed.com for your flowers, vegetables, and herbs. All organic seeds, all only $1 a pack. DollarSeed.com. And by WillowSpringsSoap.com. Handmade soaps with simple, recognizable ingredients, making soaps using the cold kettle process while using traditional methods. WillowSpringsSoap.com.
ManureTea.com, authentic Haven brand, 100% natural soil conditioner for the home garden, for all your vegetables, herbs, and flowers. ManureTea.com, always free shipping.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. I'm Joy Barrett. Well, today we're going to do some container planting because the weather is just not warm enough outside really to put some of the plants out that we want. So we've got two different kind of containers. Both of these we've used before in the program. This one we're going to put some organic soybeans in the center of it, and around the edge we're going to put Kentucky Wonder beans, pole beans, so as they grow up we can take another tomato cage, flip it, invert it, and then tie it down to allow more growth so you can have like a pole bean trellis on your porch, patio, or deck. Here we have our self-watering container that we're going to plant cucumbers. We're going to plant traditional green pickling cucumbers as well as integrate those in with some lemon cucumbers to get those to start a good jump start before the weather gets warm enough outside, so we're not waiting till mid to late summer for cucumbers to get developed. We're going to put these in sunny locations in the house, and then we're going to, then once it gets warm enough and safe enough, we'll set them, both of these containers, outside on the porch. Both these are lower in soil level, so we're going to have to put some more potting mix in. This self-watering container, over the winter we extracted some of the soil out of it for some planting projects. Well, since we had less soil, when we had leftover greens or eggshells, we would go ahead and just dig a hole and bury them. So the bottom portion, and they would biodegrade just like a compost bin. So the bottom portion of the soil is going to be a very high level of nitrogen because of the breakdown of the greens in there. So we're going to add our own little booster for the plants that we're going to plant, which is this. It is a combination of orange peels, banana peels, avocado pits, and eggshells. Now, over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, we go through quite a lot of that, so we'll dehydrate those items and grind them up into a powder form, and then we're going to sprinkle it not only in the ground garden, but we can use it in container gardening. Now, the advantages for orange peels, they have a high level of potassium, calcium, sulfur, phosphate, magnesium, and sodium. So it's a lot of minerals that the soil needs and the plants can take up and really help them grow as effectively as they possibly can. So I don't need a whole lot. I'm just going to basically take a handful, it's very fragrancy, and mix it in. I'm just going to take and mix it in with the soil. It's nothing special. You can do it yourself. It's not bad if you don't have this type of mix, but if you're going through a lot of bananas, eggshells, oranges, this would be a great way to reuse. And obviously you could just throw them in your compost bin and allow them to break down naturally as well. So I've got that stuff mixed in fairly well. So I'm going to take some potting mix and finish topping these containers off, and then we'll get to planting. So now that we got them topped off, we're going to plant the beans here first. We're going to take and plant 4 soybeans, organic soybeans, in the center, and then we're going to do our Kentucky Wonder pole beans around the outside. I'm going to pack them in pretty significantly tight because we're going to keep this watered. So I only need 4 soybeans here. Pack them in nice and tight, and then we'll go with the Kentucky Wonder pole beans. And then the ideal is as they grow, we can always add strings if we need to allow them to grasp onto the wire, and then we'll invert another tomato cage on top of this to allow them to have even more growth to get more beans off of it. So we'll just pack those in nice and tight, and that is good to go. Now, even though this is a small single container, we're still going to put a marker in here so we do know what we have planted and when we have it planted. And we'll just set this probably on the table here or next to a sunny window, so as these seeds develop they can get established, and then as it gets time to go outside we can go ahead and put them outside. Cucumbers, same way. Now with this, the cucumbers, yes, they're a very viney plant, and as we have made, when we made this, we took and some wire mesh and made a vertical cage to go around this self-watering container so the cucumbers could have something to crawl up, and it worked very effectively, and we still have that cage and we're going to use it again. So the ratio to regular pickling cucumbers to lemon cucumbers, there is no specific ratio you want to go. I'm just going to basically do about half. I'm going to poke the holes and I'm going to do about half of each, and if I feel that they're too crowded, I will simply not necessarily pull them out and kill them that way or thin them out. I will try to extract them as safely as I can and then maneuver them into another container or take them over to the garden whenever it gets warm enough and plant them there. I don't like to kill plants or seedlings if I don't have to, so that would be the plan there. And the lemon cucumbers, if you're unfamiliar with lemon cucumbers, they're about the size of a baseball. They're yellow. And they look like a lemon. And the reason why you don't necessarily see them in the stores is because they have a very short shelf life. But they are very nutritious when it comes to eating them. And you can eat them raw just like a normal cucumber. So we'll get these watered in, we'll get them in a sunny location, and we'll get a giant jump start on our warm weather crops, even though it's too cold outside to plant our cool weather crops. Having the proper container to maneuver your plants around, whether they're in the greenhouse or out to the garden when it's time to plant, can really make your job as a gardener more enjoyable. Much like I had these pepper plants that we started several weeks ago, and I transplanted them into these nice 4-inch pots in a tray like this that you necessarily can't buy at your home and garden center. But there is some techniques on how to acquire items like this. Now, most of us will go to a home and garden center at some point during the season and buy some plants or starts of some form or another. And at our local home and garden center, they come in trays like this for these 3-inch pots. Now, to acquire these, if you're simply just going to buy 2 or 3 plants, you can just take the whole tray, take the other items off that you want, set on the shelf, and you can walk out and they don't care. But if you want more than just one of these trays, whether you have multiple pots that will fit in them or you're going to put your solar rig cups in, you can take another tray that's virtually empty or close to, remove those items, put it underneath the one you're carrying out, and they don't care. You can also do the same for our containers that hold our solar rig cups that our tomato plants are started in. Now, if you don't want to go this route, there are another method to this. Most home and garden centers have a big shelf outside where people will bring these items back to recycle them. And you can ask one of the employees if you can simply go out and take a few of those pots for your own use. They don't care. They'll say go ahead. So instead of having to buy containers like this or find containers like this, you can simply go to their shelf that they're going to take to the recycling facility anyway and get them for free. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe and comment. We put out a video each and every Tuesday. I'm Joy Baird, and this has been a Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. For more information, you can find us on our website at thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.